Hello guys, I am very well aware that I would have started this video and perhaps like not introduced it. I decided this year I'm not doing my like monthly vlogs, right? Instead I probably will just patch bits of clips together from across January, February, March, and maybe do them quarterly, or just do them as and when I feel like, so that I don't have to have like hold myself accountable to these monthly goals. And it's so interesting, like with anything that you undertake that is like a hobby or something that you just decide to do. I was really conscious last year that I was like, no one is forcing you to like do these monthly vlogs, but I wanted to like hold myself accountable to like, if I said I'm going to do something monthly, like to just do it. So I'm really glad that I did it last year, but obviously they weren't always out at like regular times. And obviously like I don't have a big platform and like, you know, not that many people watch my videos and it's all fine, but it's always like in the back of my head. I'm like, I do this so that I can remember like certain things, because I just think we tend to let moments pass us by like so quickly, even if we do in the time like relish in them and really enjoy them. We forget things so easily, and I just think, you know, it's not that I feel like I'm going to get amnesia when I'm older or anything like that, but you never know. But this is why I learn a language, to keep my brain active. But I just think there are so many things that I'll be like, oh, I forgot I did that, or I forgot I saw that, and it's just really important for me to like capture it. But I wanted to talk about, I thought whilst I am kind of doing those vlogs, and I just received something in the post and was just like, yeah, being a book influencer is just like not me, right? But like when I get sent nice cool things, I'm like, it would be fun, wouldn't it? But like I just don't have the energy and time for that. But I received this in the post today, and this I got like basically through work. So this is from Dialogue Books, and they were asking, I guess, people who work within the industry, like if they wanted any proofs. And this book sounds absolutely delightful. If you know anything about me and my reading taste and choices, I love reading books that talk about food. So food writing, I'm so here for it. And this is the A to Z of Chinese food. And it says, look at this beautiful cover. Look at it. But I will insert the picture here just so you can see what the box looks like. But I will also show you. So I got given some sweets. And then this little card. The card, what does it say? And then there is this envelope, which I've not opened, so I'll do that now. Yeah. Okay, so it kind of just looks like a little ticket or something, but I guess you can use it as a bookmark. It might also be a bookmark, and I've just got that wrong. It is so dark, and it's only 2 p.m. in Scotland. I'm filming this the day after we had our big storm, and I never want to like belittle anything just because it has not happened so severely here, because I know in other parts of Scotland it was hit so severely, but I feel like today was actually a worse day than yesterday because it was just piercing down with rain this morning constantly. It has stopped now, but oh my god. So what is this book about? An A to Z of Chinese food, recipes not included, is not a recipe book but a deliberate anti-glossary, a delectable, edible essay collection that serves up Chinese flavour beyond its taste. Jenny Lau always found herself sitting between cultures connected to both East and West. Hungry to understand herself, she threw herself into researching the Chinese food of her heritage. The result is an A to Z of Chinese food, a surprising, unput-downable and deliciously enriching collection that uses food to explore who we are and how we relate to the world. From A is for authentic, breaking down our assumptions of who owns what cuisine, to R for rice cookers, a humorous entry from the point of view of a hard-working kitchen appliance that has seen a family through its ups and downs. An A to Z of Chinese food will change the way you think about, see and eat food. Sounds delightful. And I think as well, like, I'm not someone that eats like a lot of Chinese food, and the Chinese food that I do eat, it's very like plain, bog standard, but I'm actually like not that much of an adventurous eater anyway. So I just kind of hoped, I guess, by reading about the roots of food, that it would probably help me to explore more of the cuisine. I do think that it's true because I've changed positions because I couldn't stand just like standing there, so here I am. So what I was saying is like I do feel that to be true because when I watch like a lot of like cooking programs and things like that, it has actually helped me like eat more food or like explore like different types of food, because when I see kind of like what goes into it, I'm like, oh no, like I could eat that, like, or I understand a little bit more about that and it becomes more intriguing to me. So that's what I'm hoping with that. But what this book made me think of was this book by Tiny Moons by Nina Ming. Ming-Ya Pao's A Year of Eating in Shanghai. This is I know like so many people who have read this that just like absolutely love it, and I think it's so well loved on YouTube. And yeah, her food writing is so wonderful, and I just love, oh listen, I love food. So I love hearing people talk about food, so I think I'm just really going to enjoy this book. At the moment I have a lot of like non-fiction books to read, so this is going to be added to the non-fiction reading pile, but I need some more fiction books to read. So whilst we're here, actually no, I will talk later in another clip, because what I actually want to do today, and I'm not sure I'm going to do it, is film my favourite books of 2024. So whilst I did film in the first half of 2024 my kind of favourites up until June, I believe it was, I still haven't gotten around to filming for the rest of the year. There's actually not that many books. So yeah, but I need to also do something else, and I don't want to run out of steam of the other thing that I need to do, because it requires a lot of energy, and not do that and then film. So who knows, dilemma. But one of the things will be done. Both are important and I will do them at some point. Hello guys, I haven't filmed in God knows how long, like I cannot even recall, because I haven't even started like putting any of the clips that I want to like feature in this vlog together. So I don't even know the last time that I recorded a clip, but I wanted to start off saying I am gutted that I didn't record it's just R in the background, when I went to my friend Rachel's house and she held this like book club night, because she had these gorgeous book stickers, and shout out Rachel if you're watching, hello, which I'm going to insert here, but it was such a cute night. So we were talking about a book that I have not read, Onyx Storm, so one of the, I think it's the second or the third one in the Fourth Wing series. Do you know what, like, you know, even if you haven't read a book, and especially because this is a series, so you're following like loads of the characters, it is so nice to see people like talking about a book they enjoyed, and like being able to talk about different points and be like, oh, you see in this bit and this bit. I absolutely loved it, and I did watch like we all, for my benefit, but I think everyone enjoyed it, watched a recap of the first one, so of Fourth Wing. And it was actually so funny. So when the second one eventually does come out, I will watch that recap. I will not be reading the books, because as anyone who watches my channel knows, I am not a fantasy reader. It's just not a genre that is for me. That's good. I have just come back from a food shop. I just want to show that, like, one thing I love about being an adult is just that you can do things like this. I have bought 4 bags of crisps. Okay, so originally I just picked this up because I'm going to like some sort of like a Valentine's Day evening thing with some people from my dance group. And I was like, gotta come with the snacks. Around Lunar New Year, I was in Aldi just before Lunar New Year, and they had these. And I just bought one packet because I thought, okay, sounds nice. I'm not the biggest fan of prawn crackers. I think prawn crackers themselves are actually very tasteless. The Thai ones, okay, we can add some flavour, we're talking. But then I was like, oh, let me try these. So good. It actually kind of remind me of the ones in Itsu, but just not as good. But these were so good. And as with crisp packets these days, everything, this packet is half. Like, this is where the crisp actually is, right? So I think I'd been to Aldi since then and they didn't have it, and I was just wandering the aisles as you do, and then in the special buy, this must just be the leftover bits they had. So I was just like, there were 4 packets of this flavour left and then some other flavour, and I was just like, I'm gonna just buy all 3 and then leave one for someone else, you know, like, I love it. And for Valentine's Day, I had a donut for breakfast. I'll insert the picture here, and I was just like, I love being an adult, like, I can do this. What I will say about last week, or the week that we're still currently in, I consumed so many sugary treats that even I am just like, Sandra, you have to rein it in. Like, you just have to limit it back, or the sugar cannot be good for you. But anyway, let's talk about books. I have been reading this. I actually got this, God, so it was when me and one of my exes started dating. It must have been like 2019. It was from a Valentine's Day box, at least in some way. And I have put this on like last year to read as part of the Read Around the World like Storygraph challenge, and I didn't finish it. I think I ended up reading like either 5 out of 10 books, which, hey, good for me, because it was not even something I put effort into. But this was on the list for that, and I just kept seeing it there, and I was just like, I just need to like read this. So I've had this for at least 5 years, and I started it. I'm on page, well, I'm a lot further than this. I'm like page 50 or something like that. It's not too bad, but I am going to put it down at the moment to read another book, which I'll show you in a second as part of like my library haul. That second has come now, and it is this book. This is At the Table by Claire Powell. Again, I'm not really sure how or where I found it. It's definitely through Goodreads, but this book apparently features a lot of food writing. I am on page 91 at the moment, and I haven't seen that much. Like, there is a lot of them like being at a table and like things like food being purchased and things like that, or people like not eating. There's not a lot of descriptive food writing. But I started this last night. So basically I finished reading a bit of this last night, and this is like quite dense to get through. It's one of those books that, you know, requires thoughts, you know, you have to maybe read sentences a couple of times, and it's got a bit of depth to it. This I just find very easy to consume, so I was just like, it's Valentine's Day, like I've been doing my puzzle. I don't think it had anything to do with Valentine's Day for me, that was just Friday. But I was just like, I just want something nice and light, and I just picked this up from the library yesterday, so I started it. So yeah, so far I'm like, okay, but I think it's got an average rating of like 3.4 stars or whatever, so I could, reading it so far, I can kind of see why. It's not bad, but I'm just like, there's nothing of like substance here. And what I started reading last night as well is once the collection of essays by Gillian Anderson. So if you don't know about this, this is just a collection of sexual essays from people, or just, well, it is, I think the call out would have been for like sex, because yeah, it's anonymous sexual fantasies from women around the world. But I think I might have mentioned in one of my videos that I went to this reading group and we read a couple of the stories from here, and some of them just don't feature sex, they're just about like fantasies in general. And it was a really nice discussion that we had, because actually I think all the time when we think of like fantasies, most of us will think sexual fantasies, but fantasies is just something that you imagine happening to yourself, you know. And some of these have been really, really nice. I've only read a couple, and yeah, I think because I'd already read a couple of essays already as well, like I knew what to expect. One thing they do in this is, so everything is anonymous, but the data they capture is the ethnicity of the individual, I believe. I think if they are religious, let me just see. Yeah, I think it is if they have a religion, because some people are saying not applicable. Maybe, I'm hoping yes, that's the right one. Their income level, their sexuality, and whether they are in a relationship or not, and if they have kids, and that's the only thing that you know about these people. So it is like very interesting to see, and yeah, I believe, yeah, loads of people are just very into it. So I'm going to show, well, I've already showed one of the books I got from the library yesterday. I'm going to show the other one because I'm so excited for it. The other book is this. Oh, you can never really see these, but anyway, this is called Tomorrow's Kitchen, and it is an illustrated graphic novel about food. I actually believe this was like created in Glasgow, like it's a Glasgow press, so it's called Kitchen Press. And where's the bit at the back? It says Kuche, so maybe that's the business behind this, is a social business based in Scotland creating food-led events, creative community projects and multicultural catering in collaboration with people navigating the UK immigration system. It looks to celebrate different cultural cuisines, open up conversations, counteract negative attitudes, and provide opportunities for us to be more socially and culturally informed and react responsibly and with empathy to the wider world around us. And so I think it just features like different people's stories about, like, I guess food that's important to them, and then some of them it shows you like how to make them. I don't think all of them show you how to make them, but maybe it'll go into the history about the food, why it's important to the person, and maybe it's like stuff that's been passed around in their family, etc, etc. But I just love that it's illustrated, so maybe I'll do some cutaways for this, so that might be a little bit better to see, but we'll see when I'm editing what that comes out like. But that is me so far. So yeah, I've just had my Spanish lesson, I went food shopping, and now I'm ready to put my food shopping away and just feel like, well, it's so annoying, like I went to the shop, there are just a couple of bits that I need to get, which means I can't make two of the main meals that I wanted to make because I don't have two of the ingredients for them, but I can just nip to the fruit and veg shop later, which is kind of where like the stuff I need is from there. So anyway, I wanted to talk about like in terms of what I'm doing in this vlog. So I've decided to not do like monthly vlogs, but I've decided to like, I guess, piece together vlogs from across maybe a couple of months and see how I go. I definitely want to start including more of the other things I do outside of just like my reading, because I do a lot of things, but sometimes it's that I don't film them or they're just like, I can't BS. But I definitely want to get back into my book channel, so that also involves talking more about books that I am reading. So it's just finding the time. Like I just find like, and this is not a complaint in any way, shape or form, but having like a very full life means there's very little free time for, I guess, like doing things like booktube, or if I have like downtime, I'm like, oh, I need to rest and things like that, and I'm just very aware of the balance in which I get like really like burnt out, I get very tired and then need to rest, and then they're just, every day there are things to do. I just feel like every day there is something to clean, there is something to do, there's something to buy from the shop, and sometimes you're just like, wow, there is not enough time in the day, there is not enough time. But that's life, so yeah. But yeah, I hopefully will edit some of these clips like today or tomorrow, because then I can see where I am with this and I can see kind of like what I need to film. One thing I'm not going to do is I had on my list to film my best books of 2024, the second half. When I actually looked at like my sort of 4 and 5 star reads, there's only one additional book that made it into that kind of 4 or 5 star read, and I can't think of it right now, but I will put it here. So because I'd already done like my favourite books of the year so far, halfway through the year, I was like, oh, that's fine. I don't really need to do a separate video for that. So I do need to start thinking about maybe some of the videos that I want to do. I have a kind of idea of like kind of where I want to merge some of my interests like outside of like booktube into kind of booktube, because they are still relevant to reading, but I just need to see how I go about doing that. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed hearing about those books and my Greedy Chris selection, but I'll see you in a bit. Hello guys, so I have actually started editing like this vlog, and at the minute it's 29 minutes long, which I'm not worried about because it's not actually going to be 29 minutes long. There is the puzzle bit in there which needs to be condensed down and sped up, so it won't be that long, but I feel like this is going to be the final clip kind of for this one. It is Saturday today and I have my Spanish class in about 20 or so minutes. Luckily for me, it's literally a 5-minute walk down the road for me. So that is that. And then a very exciting thing that I'm doing later today is I'm going down to, it used to kind of be my local yoga studio, and in fairness it is only a 20-minute walk from me now, but it's just, I don't have the time and sometimes the funds to go to it. But they are running a teacher training Q&A. And I have an opportunity perhaps to do a yoga teacher training. So after, it actually starts from 1 to 2:30, but my class doesn't finish until 1:45. So after I finish Spanish, I'm going to go over to there to kind of, I guess, mainly hear what questions other people have to ask and be like inspired. And then maybe just ask, well, I've jotted a couple of questions down that I also want to ask. It's really, really exciting because last year the studio kind of ran this opportunity to be able to get like a free place to do it. And I remember thinking, oh, this would be like so fun, because I've always thought like, it's really funny because last year as well, me and my friend were having a conversation, we were both like, it would be really nice to actually do a yoga teacher training, even though we don't want to be like yoga teachers. I've practiced yoga since I was 13, so it is one of the most like consistent and inconsistent like kind of practices that I have, but it is something that's been remained in my life like yearly, and it's something that I just like always return to. So I think I always thought at some point like I'd love to know like what goes into it, and I just know one thing about myself is I'm someone who's just like, I love learning. Like I think once I finished like doing my masters, I was like, okay, I don't want to do a PhD because like the way I got so bored with my dissertation topic, I was like, I clearly don't have like the focus for this. But it's one of the reasons why I'm doing Spanish is because it actually activates that part of like my love of learning, and also I get to learn a new language, and like it challenges me every single week, every single day, to be honest. But yeah, so I think the yoga teacher training is attributed to that, but also just my pure like real enjoyment and love of yoga and just the way it like grounds my body. So I'd be really intrigued to see like what goes into it. So I'm going to go along to that later tonight. Later today, and then later tonight, luckily for me because it's just not too far away from me, there's a bar that everyone is talking about in Glasgow. It's the 3rd time I've had someone mention it this week to me. So me and my neighbours, a couple of my neighbours, are going to try and go there and just see what it's like. But tomorrow, a very exciting thing, I know it sounds like I've got so much to do and I am feeling the weight of it, trust me. I am attending a burlesque workshop. So I just got like advertised it through Instagram, and I was just like, that sounds really cool. Looked into it a little bit more, ummed and ahed about it for like 3 weeks, emailed the person to just ask about what one of the courses like entailed, and then because there were 3 classes and you can do the whole day or you can do just like the individual classes. And then I just ended up booking like the whole thing. The main reason I'm actually doing it is to support my dancing practice. My dance teacher is like, I know you have attitude in you, you need to like bring it to the stage and bring it to the show. So I'm really doing that, hoping that something else that's kind of focused on that kind of sensuality and, you know, being quite sexual, it will allow me to like, I don't know, unlock that in myself and like at least bring it to the stage when I have to do like my bachata performances and things like that. So that's my weekend, but I did want to talk about some books. I could just see the battery thing flashing at me, so I just had to go and change the battery. Let's talk about a book that I finished reading maybe a couple of days ago. This is At the Table. I gave this 1 star, 1.5 on Storygraph, because it allows you to do that. And it's so interesting how I feel about this book, because it's not like there are books that I give 1 star and I hate it, and I'm just like, I can feel as I'm reading it, like I hate it so much, right? This, I didn't feel like that. I was just reading the book waiting for like something to happen, and I was just like, I don't understand why I've just read this whole book and I feel like nothing has happened. Like, stuff does happen in this book, I just I have to say something. I'm just like, I don't know if it warranted writing this book about it, you know? It felt like what happened in this book should be like this small section of the book, and then the rest should be more exploration. And also, I didn't like a single character in this book. There's sometimes when you read a book, you absolutely hate the characters. I just didn't like any of the characters in this book. And I actually found it like really interesting, because like I think this is a really accurate portrayal of like what people are, like the variety of characters in here. I like them, but I felt like they were just really one-dimensional, and I didn't like them. So it was really hard then for me to connect with the story, because I was just like, I actually don't like any of the characters. I don't like the alcoholic, like workaholic daughter. I don't like the son that, you know, I think the only thing that was good about this, and I won't like spoil it, is it talks about something in one of the men, something that I feel is like not, and it isn't, it's not even that I feel, it isn't very often discussed and attributed to men. But again, like a very like just not in touch with his feelings guy, a mum who is like super ashamed of something that she didn't do, a father who just just doing what people, apparently men, seem to do, and then that's not true, but obviously that's the portrayal in this book. And yeah, every single character, I was like, I don't like them, I don't like them. And I think there's nothing wrong with having flawed characters in the sense, like they are flawed characters. That's not why I didn't like them. I just it's just like, there's not even one character that you're just to be like, oh, okay, I didn't like this. So I just, like, I didn't hate the book, I just kind of read it, finished it, and was just a bit like, right, where's the rest of the story? So my first like 1 star, 1.5 star read of the year. And I think one thing as well that's excited to like read about this, because I was like, oh, at least even if it's not, you know, the plot isn't for me, like it'll have loads of like food writing. And the whole point of this book is like, it's called At the Table, so it's about like kind of discussions and the things that take place when these people are sitting at the tables. I did not feel like that was heavily like featured in this book. Like, yes, there are scenes where people are like at tables, but I didn't really feel that was the main focal point. Like, and I felt like if we were going to do that, we were going to have more food descriptions. We didn't have that, so I was just a bit like, what is the point here? Like, So what I'm currently reading at the moment is this. I think I spoke about this in my other one of my other clips, but Steppenwolf. I'm liking it so far, and I feel like it's the kind of book that had I read as a teenager, I would get why it's really important to a lot of people, because it has a lot of that angst in it, you know, a lot of that weariness about life in it. So I do get it. I keep stopping and pausing for a little break, so I actually started this and then picked up At the Table, because I do find that this is quite like, it's quite dense, you know, and it requires some thinking and engagement with the text, whilst I think like books like At the Table can be read like very easily, you know. So I have again put it down because I want to read another book, and I will come on to, I say another book, I don't know which one yet, but I'll come on to that later. But so far so good. I'm also reading Want by Gillian Anderson. This is the collection of like fantasy essays by women and non-binary folk. So I'm really enjoying this so far. I think like, because I've had a chance to like sample what it's like, I knew that I would like it, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think some of them have just made me laugh out loud. And some of them have just made me be like, oh, okay. And I think that's the reaction you want. Like, you don't want all of them to seem like vanilla to you, you know? You want some of them to like really fucking shock you and be like, whoa, okay. Like, even if you count yourself as like a kind of experienced, open-minded person, which, you know, I do in some regard, some of them I'm just like, yeah, I just wouldn't do that. I would not be doing that. That's where we are, and I think this will be the end of this clip, of this vlog anyway, in terms of the talking segment. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I hope it managed to show a variety. I'm not actually sure how much it showed of like what I do outside of reading, but I hope it managed to show a variety of like the books that I'm enjoying, the books that I am planning to read, and just books in general, and then just other things. I'll be back for some other things in another vlog.